This is Amanda Weber with Instructional Technology, and I'm going to help you with using Google Classroom on an iPad or tablet. So mainly we're going to focus on using Google Classroom. These are some of the other Google apps that you may need to download on your device. Depending on what your teacher is having you do in Google Classroom, you might have to have these downloaded so that you can properly open some of the attachments and things. The main one we're going to start with is Google Classroom. So we're going to tap on that icon. It asks you to get started. You can uncheck if you don't want to sign up for emails about Google Classroom features. We're going to tap Get Started, and it's going to prompt you to sign in. This is where your student will put their ID number at ecisd.school. Okay, and then they'll hit the Next button. It'll bring them to this sign-in page where, again, they'll put in their ID number as their username, and their password, if they are kindergarten through 4th grade, is their ID number again. If they are 5th grade to 12th grade, it was originally their 8-digit birthday, and then they were prompted to choose their own after they put that birthday password in. So whatever password that they created is the password that they'll put in now. Then they'll click the sign in button. Okay. Then this will pop up down at the bottom, as you'll see. It'll pop up and tell you who signed in. Since I'm a teacher in ECISD, it pops up and it says my name. Students, when it pops up, it'll say their ID number at ecisd.school. Now, the first notification is if you want Google Classroom to send you notifications. So that'll be when it pops up on your screen. That is up to you to allow or don't allow. I prefer to allow it. That way, when my student's teacher posts something or sends them a comment and things like that, it'll pop up right there on the home screen and they can see it. Okay. Since I've already got classrooms and things established, as I log in, my classrooms will automatically pull up to which ones I'm a part of. If your teacher has invited you to join a class, it'll pop up right here and there'll be a blue button that says to accept the invitation. If they gave you a code, what you'll have to do is hit the plus mark in the bottom corner and you will click join a class. And this is where it will ask for that code. So if you put the code in exactly as the teacher said it, and it still pops up and tells you that that code is invalid, double check that the icon in the top right corner is the correct icon. So right up here, you can tap on it. Be sure that it is still pulling your at ecisd.school account. If you have a personal account on here, it might be trying to log in your personal account. And our G Suite account for security doesn't allow anything outside of our domain to enter a class code in. So they have to be sure that they're signed in with the right account. Okay. So they can join the class, they can come in, open up whatever assignments they need to open up. Okay. We always suggest going to the Classwork tab. When you first open it up, it goes to the stream, which is like their Facebook feed, where the teacher can post announcements or any new things that they've posted might be showing there. But if they go to the Classwork tab, which is in the middle, it'll have it organized a little bit better. They can see the different assignments based on how the teachers arranged it, if they're putting it in per day or per week. However they're having it organized, there'll be different ways to view it right there. Okay. Now I'm going to hit the hamburger button, the 3 lines on the top left. This is how they can get back to their classes so that they can see their classes. Another handy thing right there under the hamburger button is this to-do section. Okay. When you pull up the to-do section, it'll show you if you have any work that's missing from any of your classes. Be sure to hit that more button to load more assignments that are missing. And this is based on the due date. So if their student didn't hit turn in before a certain due date pulled up, okay, then it'll be marked as missing. Okay. Then there's a section if the teacher didn't assign a due date, okay, then it'll have a section listed there with things that don't have a due date. Okay. The other stuff that pulls up down below will be reminders of things that are due based on their due date. So due tomorrow, due Monday. And again, always look if there's a more button, increase and see what else is due. Okay, I'm going to hit that hamburger button and come back to my classes. Okay. And just so you can kind of see what your students are going to be looking at, whenever they are in their classes and they're in the Classwork tab and they have assignments to do, they can click on that assignment. Usually the instructions and things are listed at the top. There's an arrow down at the bottom where they can add attachments. They can use their camera to take a picture of something. If they have a file already on their iPad and they want to add it in, or a file saved into their Google Drive, this is why you might need that Google Drive app. Or if they want to attach a link, those are all the different options. They can also create a new doc, a new slide, a new sheets, or a new PDF as well. So I'm going to click New Docs, and it'll pop up and say it's adding it to the assignment. And it's going to open up that Docs app because I already have it downloaded. Okay. Otherwise, it's probably going to ask you to download that doc app that we were showing you earlier. Okay. So once you get here, it automatically names it with the student's name and the name of the assignment. Down in the bottom right corner, there's a little blue pencil. Once you tap that, you're going to be able to edit. And that's where you can come in and start typing your answers for whatever it is that the teacher has prompted you to do. Hey, you've got all your different fonts and colors and things like that you can choose from right up there. Hey, once you're done, there's a little blue check mark in the corner that you can tap. And then the little back arrow where the check mark was will take you back, and it will show you the docs section where you have all your different docs that you've worked on. Okay. We're going to go back to Classroom. And that's where it's already attached, that Amanda Weber practice. Okay. And the big thing we want to be sure is that we hit Turn In. Now, before I do that and this goes away, I want to show you a couple other things. Right here will list private comments that your student can ask the teacher, and the only other person that will see any of these comments are the teacher. So if you need to ask the teacher something and you want them to respond back to an email or a phone number, things like that, you want to be sure you use the private comments. If you come back to here, there's a place where you can make class comments. I think this teacher has it turned off on the classroom that I'm on, but there's a place to make class comments. If you put any class comments in, it's going to be visible for the entire class. All the students and the teacher will be able to see it. So be sure you're paying attention to whether you want to do a private comment or a class comment. Okay? After you get all your attachments on there and are ready to go, that's when you'll hit your Turn In button. It will remind you got 2 attachments. If you forget to attach stuff, it'll pop up and tell you that you forgot to attach things if you're supposed to. Okay? And then you can hit that Turn In button. It takes it a minute, and it'll pop up down at the bottom and tell you that the assignment's turned in. If you want to unsubmit, it has a button there, or right there in the center of the screen, you can unsubmit it. Okay. Now, I'm going to come back to my Classes tab, just right here where we were at. Okay. If you have multiple children, and it's another kid's turn, and you got to use the same tablet, one of the things you can do is you can pay attention up in the corner where the avatar button is. You can tap it and you can see which student is logged in. So right here, you can click Add Another Account. And this is where your second student will sign in. They'll put their ID number at ecisd.school. Now, just for this example, I'm just going to use my other personal account. So that you can see what it looks like. Okay, we'll hit next, and it's going to prompt me to sign in and put my password in. And now down at the bottom it pops up and it tells you who is signed in. Okay, and of course I don't have any Google Classrooms on this one because, again, this is my personal account that's not going to have access to any of our at ecsd.school information. Okay, but anytime you need to toggle back and forth between students, all you have to do is hit the little avatar button in the top right. It'll show you your options of who you have added on and who you don't. You can click on that person and go back to their classroom. And that's the same thing for the other Google apps. So same thing for Google Drive. The first time you do it, you'll sign in just like we've been signing in, except this time it'll pull from accounts that you already have logged in. I can pull from my school account, and then I can jump back over and I can pull from my personal account. Okay. Now the other apps, it's the same thing. If you're trying to access docs, which we opened a while ago in the assignment, you can always hit the hamburger button. If you don't see the avatar on the top right, like we've been using, you can use the hamburger button in the top left. And again, that will also show you which student is logged in. So there's my Amanda.Weber and then my personal one as well. Okay, and that'll show you the different docs that you've been accessing and things like that. So just always be sure to check which account you're using to be sure it's saving in the correct place for the correct student. Okay. If for some reason, whenever you open it up, if it's going to wrong accounts multiple times, you can't get it to stay on the right account, one of the things you might do is hit the little drop down arrow and then manage accounts on this device. And what you can do is you can remove whichever account you don't want on the device right now. It's going to sign you out as that user. And then that way you can sign back in. It'll pop up and show you the options you have on if it's already an account in there. You can just select that or add another account. But you want to be sure to hit continue for whichever one you're choosing or add your new account. And you always want to be sure that your avatar is the one you need. So if I need to be at my ecisd.school, we want to be sure we're pulling up there. If I clicked on, an example, a quiz for a teacher and it's popping up and saying down at the bottom a different student, or you hit those 3 lines and it's showing a different student is logged in, be sure that you manage the account, remove that account, and add it back in. You can add and remove accounts however many times you need to. It's not going to affect your iPad or anything like that. You just want to be sure that whoever's supposed to be taking the quiz is the student taking that quiz. And that's a brief overview of Google Classroom and some of the other Google apps that are associated with it. We'll be making more in-depth videos as we continue our remote learning process. Please be sure to reach out to your teacher if you have questions, and they can get you the information to reach out if you aren't able to solve your problem with them. Thank you, guys.